Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between, let's go ahead and pull up the names. It's going to be ExcuseMe versus RoxkisFRAER here on Entomb Valley, game 1 in the series. And my apologies if you guys have been following me. I am traveling the world right now, and I gotta say something. Riding a boat in typhoon affected waters, not very fun. Yeah, I don't suggest it for you guys. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive straight into this game. It is going to be on Entomb Valley. It is going to be cross spawns, and this was taken from the WCS, so I would normally assume that this is the Blizzard version of the map, but I had to download the map, so perhaps there is something a little bit different. Perhaps it can only force a north-south spawns as opposed to close north-north spawns or south-south spawns, or perhaps Blizzard made a change here as we now see a probe heading straight across the map, and we will quickly find where each other are. Now we could be seeing perhaps a forge fast expansion coming in from FRAER. FRAER does have this one pylon already down on the low ground. We'll see what his next building will be, and we'll see what the strategy will be, as we're going to see the Protoss player quickly coming around on the inside, taking a look around, and what he's really looking for is when the spawning pool will be placed down. If he sees that the spawning pool is not placed down at 14, and then he knows that it is going to be a hatchery first. Right now, he's also waiting to see if there is going to be an extractor placed down. If there's an extractor placed down, he knows that means that there's going to be a lot more early aggression, Zerglings with speed, or perhaps even Banelings, and then they'll have to play a little bit more defensively. With the particular opening that he's seen from the Zerg, he could go Nexus first after the pylon, but he will be sacrificing a little bit of his economy here in order to do exactly that. So that 17th probe gonna be warping in that Nexus now, gonna go ahead and start mining some minerals, head over here, set up a forge in just a second, and then head back up the ramp and continue mining. The spawning pool already being placed down here by ExcuseMe, and not in the typical location, and this may actually freak the Protoss player out. The Protoss player looks for a hatchery, and he knows that a hatchery has to be placed down, otherwise there's simply not enough production. Where is he going to find that hatchery is the key question, as we now see a forge is already down, a gateway going to be placed down here, and this forge fast expansion, not your typical variety or style, but it is going to pretty much prevent any sort of run-in or run-by. Probe now being forced to run away. Does it know about the hatchery? It does not know about the hatchery yet. Perhaps thinking that the hatchery was just placed down now. That is not going to be the case, as the probe now is getting a little bit of a head start back home. It should be able to survive, as there is already, oh, what is this? The probe deciding to take a little bit of a different route, and now coming back around, he is actually going to turn around and hoping for that photon cannon to finish. The probe down to 11 hit points, now gonna come back in and warp in a cybernetic core and also a pylon here. There is gonna be a small gap right there where a zealot can position itself in order to, finish off that wall in there. A zealot coupled with a photon cannon will be able to essentially one-shot any Zerglings that try to make their way in. Queen, and now already making its way over to the hatchery here, gonna lay down and inject, and ExcuseMe is already running up on 2 bases, should be getting down some creep tumors, as well as the 3rd hatchery has been placed down. Now, Entomb Valley, a pretty large map across the center here. The Xel'Naga Tower does control much of the transit and between the bases. Drones now being transferred off over here, and with this, if ExcuseMe wants to do any sort of serious attack, he really needs to come across the center. Now, as soon as a Zealot does get there, the Zealot should be able to easily control the center portion of the map until a larger group of Zerglings do arrive. Zealot gets off one easy shot, and now going to hold the Xel'Naga Tower, see that nothing is coming down, and perhaps a Zealot will do a little bit of scouting. A simulator is being warped in at the natural already. We are going to see the 3rd and 4th gas be placed down, as FRAER looking to just get up a little bit more tech. He is getting up that level 1 weapons upgrade, but he still only has 1 production building. So forge, fast, expand, or die trying. So far, it looks like FRAER is going to be expanding. He's not going to have any real issues as a Zealot making its way into the base. It is going to see the Queen, and it's pretty much going to know that this one expansion has been established for quite some time. The Zealot trying to finish off some Zerglings does get off, I believe, 2 kills. Losses 50 versus 100 would confirm that, as we now see a Roach Warren and a tech to tier 2. So a little bit of a delayed tech to tier 2, but ExcuseMe doing exactly what he wants to do. He should be able to get off a large round of drones right about now. You see 13 drones were being trained, and with all of these drones, ExcuseMe is going to have a very large economy going into the mid game. But what is this? The Protoss quickly establishing up his third base as well. Will he be able to take down these rocks in time is another key question. Front door gateways are being placed down, making it very difficult for Zerglings or any units to make their way up that ramp. Sentries are not very good at destroying destructible rocks. You can see how slowly those rocks are currently falling, as we are now going into 4 gateways and also adding a photon cannon. Hatchery is off over here. We can see that we are getting three drones on each gas. Queens just continue to hit those injects, and really both of these players are just going to be waiting to see who can do a little bit more damage to the other. It looks like FRAER's opening into Immortals, a strategy which I believe was made common by Stase after MLG Anaheim, utilizing Immortals to really handle the roach pressure that a lot of Zerg players go for. Now you got to remember that ExcuseMe is sitting on a very, very large supply of units, but it's really deceiving. If you take a look at the overall army count, the Protoss is much, much larger if you combine minerals and gas. Those Immortals very effective against those roaches, and couple the fact that there are sentries down to split up and divide those roaches will not be able to take down those Immortals, especially with that level 1 weapons upgrade. A 4th hatchery coming in from ExcuseMe, as both players are pretty much playing the game that they want to. It's really going to come down to who can come out on top. So far, ExcuseMe doesn't have really that many more drones over his opponent. Actually spoke too soon. 67 compared to 75, with still 5 more drones on the way. It is now a 14 drone advantage for ExcuseMe, and if he can stay up and get a large enough bank, ExcuseMe should be able to just crash wave after wave after wave of Zerg units onto his opponent. Macro hatch off over here has been completed. All of the main tech hiding in this location here. You can see the infestation pit, Roach Warren, evolution chambers, as well as we are sitting on a 3-base Protoss versus a 4-base Zerg. Still, no one wants to make the first mistake, as both sides just still sitting inside their base. We are going into Blink. We are going to be going into Warp Prism, and 5 more Warp Gates now being added here. So a total of, I don't even know a total of 9 Warp Gates for FRAER, and FRAER is going to be able to instantly train 18 supply of food, or 18 supply of units in 5 seconds from those gateways. 7 gateways now, Templar Archives coming in, the Observer just sitting in the center portion. It sounds like a Changeling was taken out, not quite sure where, as we are going to be going into a Zealot drop. Is the Zerglings going to spot this? Yes, the Zerglings are going to spot this. The Zealots are not going to be able to take it down. Level 2 weapons upgrade about to be completed. The Zerglings still dancing around. And where are these Zealots planning on going? Templars are warped in. We should be getting the Psystorm as well, or at least some Archons. As yes, some Archons are now being added. The Archons are going to be upgraded 1-1-1. Shield upgrades were added, so those Archons are going to be effective even against Zerglings, as the Archons now have that level 2 weapons upgrade, 43 damage versus biological. Alright, did I miss the Zealot drop? No, the Warp Prism unable to do very much of anything. Now retreating back, you see a group of Speedlings running around the corner, perhaps going to try to make their way inside here. Another gateway being added here, and another pylon here. So the Zerglings aren't really going to be able to do very much of anything. Zerglings, able to get inside the main base. The Zealot just out of position for a second, and that is going to be a problematic, as the Zealots as the infested Terrans are going to take down that warp prism. The probes are going to get off the keys, or the probes are going to be forced to fight back against these Zerglings. The Zerglings are, I believe, upgraded at least 1-1 as the Zealots now coming over. And how many workers were killed? 11 workers killed in that engagement. Archon now ready to charge up the front here, dealing some more damage. The Zerglings are going to try to make their way in, unable to do anything at all. Zerglings are going to try to swarm, but Ultralisk now coming in as well. Ultralisk phasing, splashing, and you can see all the damage. The force field's not going to do much of anything as the warp prism now warping in units. Zealots trying to focus down the Zealots there. You can see the force fields getting just barreled down by all of those Ultralisk mass Zealots now, but a fungal growth doing a great job immobilizing those Zealots, taking them out of combat, and FRAER is in trouble as he is forced to execute a retreat with 86 supply versus 171. ExcuseMe, with a very, very strong economy behind them, could easily remax to 200. Now, what does a Protoss player do when he's behind? He goes Dark Templars. Dark Shrine now warping in as well. Level 2 shield upgrades coming in for those Archons. Archons very beefy, reducing the damage that they take by 2 on those shields, which is the majority of their total hit points and life. Ultralisk now chomping away at the bit, and this is going to turn into a north versus south battle, but it may be too difficult for FRAER to try to remax at all. He's now down to 126 compared to 200 over 200. Level 3 weapons upgrade coming in, and we'll see what's going to be happening next. These probes unable to even be transferred over to this base, and we could be seeing a lot more chrono boost coming in, perhaps for some better upgrades. Not enough resources. A probe trying to set up some buildings off over here. It's not going to work at all. Down it goes, and now in comes the Archons, Zealots, and Immortals. This is the right composition of units. Is it the right supply amount? Is the question there, as the Archons now trying to battle it up, taking down Ultralisk after Ultralisk, doing a great job. But the Zerglings are going to be able to start surrounding this here in just a second. Zealots are now turning back around. Archons trying to fight back in. Dark Templars need to be added. Infested Terrans now being added as well, as the Immortal being picked up and dropped. Very nice micro coming in, as we can see some low hit point Archons have all pretty much been taken down. As what Ultralisk trying to make their way in. This Immortal is just going to be repositioned time and time again. A Zealot. Oh, Stalker's now blinking away, and this is going to be very interesting as the Immortal down to 13 hit points. Is it going to get taken out? Yes, it does, by a Roach. Infested Terrans also getting in a little bit more damage as well, as ExcuseMe attacking with a much smaller force than his supply would suggest. A wave of Zerglings now coming in. Ultralisk trying to push their way through, and it looks like another Ultralisk will get taken down. Zerglings now trying to crash their way in. The front door is about to fall. Cybernetic Export now down, and the Immortals, Stalkers, and even one Changeling just getting a good view of the Zerg swarm in action. Dark Shrine, are we seeing any Dark Templars? No, just Archons coming in once more. Zealots, Archon trying to fight back Ultralisk, Zergling, and Infested Terrans. The Archon is going to be joining in here in just a second. How many kills can it get? It's only got 1, and there is the GG. Game 1 going to ExcuseMe here on Entombed Valley. Stay tuned for Game 2.